Welcome back. All right, so news of the day for today for your Friday. I'll go ahead and move that Florida out of there. I do not have Florida news for right now. So Colorado, another positive test from yesterday's testing has caused a cancellation of the morning skate today. From what it looks like on their social media, at the very least, they're still planning on having the game tonight. They're still tweeting out right, left, and center after tweeting out that the skate was canceled. So looks like the game's still on. Abs fans are notably and understandably concerned. So Bowen Byram went on the list. Philip Grubauer goes on the list, and now there's another player who's likely going to end up on the list as well. But again, everybody else tested negative, so we'll see what they do with tonight's game if that gets delayed or not. No idea. I could go either way. As for games being delayed, the Canucks game for today has been delayed, and tomorrow's is going to be. That's been the word anyways over the last, I'll say, 18 hours, that they will delay tomorrow's game against Toronto as well. So it's interesting because this does mean that Edmonton's had an extended period of time off since that game on Saturday. So this is another case where Edmonton has a lot of time off. So it's been pushed back. They're saying it's likely a couple of more days. They're not saying it's going to take a long time. Basically, what Jim Benning said was that the medical staff feels it'll take an extra couple of days for players to get back up to speed. The medical testing didn't go well. Some of them passed fine, but there are those who are really struggling to recover and having a hard time catching their breath. And so the testing revealed, these guys aren't ready to play. So while they're off the protocol list, they're not in any shape to play yet. And they're saying the extra couple of days could help. So the Toronto game could be moved to Sunday, was what I read yesterday. There could be a Canucks game on Monday, but the plan is still 56 games. And I know, and people keep, in the comments all like, how can they do this? I'm just relaying the information. I'm staying out of the whole, the emotional side of this for me, you got to kind of, for what I do and for reporting this, I have to kind of separate it. Just report, here's what's happening, and, all the best to the players. But 56 games is still the plan, and Benning thinks the extra couple of days will really help to get more players ready. There's only 3 that are still on the protocol list the last time I looked, so hopefully that extra couple of days of practice and skating and all of that will help them get up to speed, and then they'll be good to go. But again, we'll see what happens and whether or not they're able to play 56 games. And, going back to the Colorado bit, if Colorado gets some games delayed, do they put their games into that week that now the Canucks have had the season delayed into? And so we'll see what happens. It's just, it's interesting is the only word I can think to use to describe this right now. Montreal. So Cole Caulfield gets signed, and I figured he'd end up on the team. And then the way he was playing in Laval, fantastic. Now Laval's next few games have been postponed because the Toronto Marlies are shut down. So and again, the AHL is going through this. Every league, every professional league is going through this in North America. Caulfield is not on the Montreal Canadiens roster, but he's been put on the taxi squad. So he's practicing with the team for the first time. But what Dominic Ducharme has said is that Montreal doesn't have the cap space to call up Caulfield. So it's basically a way of saying, he's ready. We know he's ready, but we don't have the cap space to call him up. So that means in the playoffs, he'll play because there is no salary cap in the playoffs, which is one of the weirdest things about the National Hockey League, isn't it? It is weird that, all right, now it's playoff time. Now you can just jack up the roster as much as you want. So Caulfield, his debut with Montreal likely put off until the playoffs unless Bergevin uses the waiver wire or some other way to try to manufacture space, or unless there's an injury. If there's an injury and that frees up cap space, then Caulfield I would think, goes into the lineup. In his brief appearances in Laval, he looks ready. Zach Hyman was fined for a $5,000 high stick on Pionk last night. It was an alarming high stick. It's just one of those ones where, and I understand Pionk had cross-checked him, so before anybody says, oh, you got cross-checked by Pionk. Yeah, but still, your stick, you're not. Anyways, so Yeah, it's a $5,000 fine. If I would think if it happened again with Hyman, it'd be a suspension. I do worry about when guys swing their stick like that because we've seen injuries from that kind of thing before. But thankfully, Pionk was okay. Just seemed kind of incredulous after it. But yeah, so Hyman's been fined $5,000. That is the maximum allowable. It's in the CBA. The CBA was just extended. The maximum allowable is not going to change, and that's it. So I know people get mad about the fines too, but it's not going to change, probably ever. The money from these fines just goes back into a player fund, so it's yeah. Anyways, there you go. Stamkos has been placed on LTIR by Tampa. Happened yesterday, and that means the earliest he can return from long-term injured reserve is May 5th. The earliest he can come back is about a week before the end of the season for Tampa, which, according to last night's game, means they're going to lean heavily on Vasilevsky from here. Heavily. And then when he wins the Vezina, we should all act surprised. So yeah, Stamkos on LTIR, along with Kucherov out for the season. And there you go. So if Tampa has any struggles over the next couple of weeks, maybe just store that away as information that, right, they're without Stamkos and Kucherov. And in the playoffs, they'll likely have a full complement. Of course, if the LTIR, if that opens up cap space and they put Kucherov in the lineup while Stamkos is out, there you go. Anyways, I know Kucherov's not ready to come back. Interesting note on tomorrow's games. Ilya Shesterkin is going to play again tomorrow for the New York Rangers, to which the Devils are going to be saying, oh, not again. You guys should give him a rest. Why don't you throw in Georgiev or, I don't know, somebody else, and anybody else. His streak against New Jersey is ridiculous. 166 minutes and 56 seconds of game time since the last goal went in, scored by the New Jersey Devils on Shesterkin, whose save percentage is now up to .925. Yeah, Shesterkin is showing right now why the Rangers had faith in him after last season. And yeah, he's been great. And considering the slowish start he got off to, that .925 number on the season right now looks even better. So the Rangers' future's pretty bright, and kind of like the window here and the way it shines off. Yeah, this is that time of year where I'm like, oh, right, yeah, the sun when it's higher up, it can cause havoc with the camera. Okay, so this is no longer likely. This is confirmed now since I put this on the board. Shane Pinto will debut tomorrow night for the Ottawa Senators, and it looks like he's going to play. I believe they said he's playing with Connor Brown and Alex Formenton. So if you're a Sens fan, first Bernard Docker's playing, now you got Pinto playing. You're getting a really good look at how the Ottawa Senators could look next season, minus a couple of guys who will come in for next year. So the Sens are getting a lot younger, a lot more skill, speed as well. And yeah, Pinto's now the latest one to be added to the list. We'll see how things go for him tomorrow. Bernard Docker was very impressive in his first game, and it already looks like picking up Victor Mete was a very smart move on the waiver wire. He seems to be quite happy in Ottawa, and he's going to get a better chance in Ottawa than what he was getting in Montreal. So, yeah, Ottawa's made some good decisions lately. San Jose. So, Gordie Howe's games played record is 1,767. Marleau plays 1,766 tonight. He will play 1767 Saturday, and then 1768 on Monday, which I believe is in the city of Las Vegas. So he will pass Gordie Howe on Monday, barring any games being rescheduled or anything happening with the schedule. He will pass the Gordie Howe mark on Monday. And what's interesting is he's still playing more than 13 minutes per game, and he's just turning 42, which sounds like he's really old, but it's not. I remember Chelios playing later. Chara's still playing, of course. He's older than 42. I could see him saying, I'll come back for one more year. And one thing that may cause him to come back again is, will I have a shot at a Stanley Cup? So it may mean signing somewhere else other than San Jose. But yeah, it definitely looks like he probably sticks around. And what else is interesting is that when I'm watching these games and they talk about his game streak and they talk about the games played streak of Kessel's or they talk about Yandel, how remarkable is it that we have three players at the exact same time who have got those huge games played streaks going? during a time where there's so many injuries league-wide, and in the case of Marleau, Kessel, and Yandel, they've avoided it. They've avoided getting hurt. So while there may be jokes about conditioning with Kessel, and there may be jokes about defensive play at times with Yandel, and there may be jokes as well about Marleau being old, these three guys have stayed in the lineup every single game. This means no healthy scratches and no injuries. So, and if there are injuries, they play through them. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing, I think. Every time they show that games played, consecutive games played list, I'm like, and they're all guys who are playing right now. That is insane. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.